Hello, you horrors. It's Christian Lavican here, riffraff in the Rocky Horror Show. Time may be fleeting, but with this gang, madness has already taken control. It's time for rants in our pants. Are you ready for dawn?
That's my secret, Cat. I'm always angry.
Stacey?
I'm not crazy. My mother had me tested.
Amanda?
You know this. I just don't know if you know you know it.
Deanne?
I'm a dirty skunk. I'm a dirty skunk.
Really? Don't say I didn't warn you.
Welcome back to another episode of Rants in Our Pants. Yes, you're hearing correctly. I get the job today of running the show, a little scared. Dawn does this flawlessly, and I am the group fuck-up, basically, so this could be an interesting show. But as always, I'm Stacey, and with me are my co-hosts, Dawn.
Yo.
Deanne.
Hello.
And Dawn, is Amanda with you, or is she off with your debit card again?
I'm going to assume she's not here. She ain't in next to me, and she would be at work.
Was she working on Sundays?
That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. But, again, like I said, class fuck up. So, we're going to start the show, and, I really don't know what I'm doing, and this could be a really good lesson on my part. Being taught to me by Dawn, understandably. But we have some great topics. We're going to start off with the one that I think is the biggest. It was a shock to me when this happened, and the fact that a federal judge out of Miami has now blocked and ordered this shut down. Alligator Alcatraz is closed, and as Dawn nicely put it, the alligator out front should have told you so. But the Indian tribe, Native American tribe down there filed a federal lawsuit asking for it to be closed because there was no environmental report done before they just put this on some old closed down air strip in the middle of the Everglades. Did you guys hear about this?
Yeah.
Okay. And what did you think?
I didn't get a chance to get my souvenir hat.
So they've been given, I think it was 60 days to remove all the detainees and tear everything down. But they're already saying has been an environmental impact because of it. Where do you think they're going to send those deportees? Anyone? I feel like I'm Ferris Bueller. Anyone? Dawn?
I don't know much about. Sorry, sister. I really don't know much about this, so you guys discuss.
Okay. Dawn?
Nebraska.
Really? Why?
They're building one there.
Okay. So if you can't send them to the 9th circle of hell, you're going to send them to the 8th circle of hell.
Or they'll send them to Michigan.
The 7th, still a little better, but kind of a downgrade from Florida, isn't it?
I don't know.
They're trading hurricanes for blizzards or snow. And
what would you rather deal with?
That's fine. They actually, they're talking about sending a lot of them to a closed state, a closed Florida state prison. That can, I think they said something about 2,500 people can be in this one prison. So they're looking to upgrade that, but it's in northern Florida.
Liz, I know you're muted there, but what the hell did you just do?
Cramp.
Oh,
Right. I'm gonna mute again because it hurts.
Okay.
sorry.
That's not your fault.
Oh, I hope that's just a leg cramp.
It looked like it.
Oh gosh, yeah. Whenever that happens to me, I take my heel pointed down and my toe, I try to point it as far up towards my head as I can to stretch it out, because those things will wake me up from a dead sleep. And I slept through a restaurant exploding 3 streets away from me. So yeah, that was nothing like waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning to your fiance rushing up into the bedroom with a basket hill broadsword going, "What happened? What happened?" True story. That I woke up to, but didn't wake up to the giant boom that shook everything. So, yep. Anyways, so Alligator Alcatraz is closed. Probably wasn't a really good idea to have done in the first place. Why do you think Trump chose that?
Why not? It's close to home.
Don't you think he'd want it further away from them?
I mean, maybe.
Okay. So you have also pointed to Trump's plot to stay in power. And I've noticed that people have said that in the White House, that the White House has a gift shop and they're actually selling Trump 2025 hats.
2025?
Or 2028, sorry, Trump 2028 hats. And and you had something to say about that, about how he wants to stay in power. Can you tell us about that,
Yeah.
please?
Well, hold on. How's the cramp?
Better.
Good.
Thank you for asking. I took a 2-mile run earlier.
Oh,
Yes, in
You
my
went,
50s.
whoa, stop, back up. You went for a what?
Run.
2 mile?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, if I run, you should probably start running too. 'Cause I don't run for fun. I run to save my life, or just to be faster than the person behind me.
I don't think she did it for fun.
Well, she did it to stay healthy.
No, I'm doing it to get my endurance up for the last part.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Definitely not fun then. Yeah. So anyways, Dawn, back to you. What do you think about his plot to stay in power?
Do you know anything about history?
Yes.
What would be the one reason a sitting president who's already served 2 terms to stay in office?
Okay.
No, I'm asking you. What would a sitting president have to do if he's already serving his second maximum term?
Well, first of all, he would have to get another amendment passed. That would have to be adopted or okayed by 2/3 of the states and 2/3 of the Congress, both the House of Representatives and the Senate, or declare war.
So if that were the case, and with recent developments of him moving warships just off the coast of Venezuela, who happened to be a ally of Russia, I mean, it's too soon for the 2028 election, but they're setting things up to where he would basically have the right, because if you remember when Zelensky was there, he asked about free elections. Well, are you going to have free elections? Yes. Once this war is over, we will have free elections.
Mm-hmm.
Put the idea into his head, which this idea isn't that old, because there used to be I don't know if he still does his show, but Mancow Mueller a long time ago used to talk about how he thought Clinton would try to start a war so he could stay in office.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between Clinton and dumb shit is Clinton wasn't facing charges the minute he gets out of office. Despite everything and nothing sticking to his fat ass, except for maybe Crisco and maybe, I don't know, a butt plug, he has so many things that are going to be coming after his ass. And he knows the only way he can avoid it is to stay in office, because thanks to the Supreme Court, anything he says and does, as long as it's named under presidential, power, so to speak, it's basically law. So if he gets into a conflict, he can stay in office until as such time that either A, he decides he doesn't want to be a president anymore, or B, the Big Macs do their job. Done.
Yep, I agree. I agree. So, I mean, I don't think that, I think that's probably, you're right. I think that's what he would do to try to hold on to power, because, even though, he has the majority in the Congress right now, there's no way he's going to get 2/3 to vote yes to
You don't.
And I am really blanking on the word that they use.
Congress would have to vote to go to war.
Oh, yeah.
And if you think he doesn't have so many of their balls in his hands that they wouldn't vote against it, or they would vote against it, which one you want to go with, then you're fooling yourself.
Oh, no, I believe that he would, I mean, I don't know if I think he just needs a simple majority for that, but I'm talking for the amendment, if he was to put an amendment in. But the whole reason that amendment is limiting the terms of the president is because of FDR. I mean, when he was, elected to a third term and died not too long after that, they had to do that. And that was in the middle of World War II. So, but I think, it is in the Constitution that the president does have the right to declare war for 30 days or make war for 30 days without congressional approval. And I don't think it would be too hard for him during that 30 days to get the votes he needs to continue. So, yeah, I agree with you. So, anyways, okay. I'm curious about something, though, that you wrote here, how to kidnap a politician and welcome to 1984. Now, I definitely see the 1984 reference around everywhere, but why don't you tell us about the how to kidnap a politician and then the welcome to 1984?
I wish I could, but I'm on my phone on Zoom, so I can't use any access to get names and all that stuff. So.
Oh, okay. Well,
however, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version.
Okay.
I don't know what her name is in Texas, but there is a Texas politician that is not allowed to leave the house. And when I mean the house, I don't mean her house. I mean the house in the Capitol.
I did see that, yes.
because she refused to sign a paper because all the Texas Democrats left because they refused to vote on gerrymandering that would almost guarantee 5 seats to the Republicans in Texas, which is what Trump wants. When they came back, they told them all they had to sign a paper that said wherever they go, they are going to have a police officer or a special law enforcement official that would follow them basically wherever they went. And she said, no, I'm not signing that. So instead, they told her she can't leave. She's been sleeping on the floor of the Capitol or of the House, whichever, since I believe they told her you sign it or else. If she leaves, she's arrested. If she goes to the bathroom, she's followed basically by a police officer. And then also, during a meeting on Zoom, she was told she had to get off the phone or off the call, otherwise she'd be arrested because it's illegal for her to be having a meeting. So, in other words, you have a Texas governor, Wheels, as I like to call him, who basically is kidnapping a human being until she bends to his wheels, not will, wheels, and gives him basically what he wants. Sound familiar?
Yeah. So her name is Representative Nicole Collier, and she spent 2 days in what they're calling Capitol Penitentiary. And she, in this interview with the Star Telegram, she said she was trying to search for the right printable word to describe the colleagues that she believes betrayed her and the constituents. And this whole thing with this gerrymandering, you're only supposed to be able to make these new voting districts once every 10 years. It's unheard of to do it after 5 years. And they're just doing it. They're once they get the votes, it's done. They're not even bringing it to their voters. They're not bringing it to the public. It's just done because Trump told Abbott, "I want 5 more Republican votes," but Gavin Newsom the other day, he did sign a bill that's going to put that very thing on in the redistricting of their voters, 5 more Democratic districts. And that's going to the voters in November. I think it'll pass. I do. But you also have New York, Illinois, I forgot the number of states. I think Maryland. You have 5 states that are going to redistrict in protest for Texas, and only 2 or 3 that are willing to do it for Republicans, to try to get Republicans. Either way, Trump fucked himself. He opened a can of worms that should have stayed shut. It's, I don't know. Dawn is much better at hosting than I am, so I think that's why Deanna and I have been very comfortable letting her kind of take the lead in answering. But yeah, she's right. She's right. I screwed up. I'm admitting that here. We tried to record yesterday, and that's why we're recording the day after. Dawn is right. So, and that's up for posterity. That will be out there on YouTube. So you could keep playing that back. I will even make you a clip that you can press a button and keep playing. It's like, Dawn is right. Dawn is right. So, yeah. No. Dead air? Dead air.
I'm
Dead
waiting for
air.
you to segue.
Huh?
I'm waiting for you to segue.
Yeah, anyways, Deanne was actually telling us earlier that she went on a run, and she's doing her last Spartan race, and we've kind of been following her progress through the last two that she's done, and the really cool medals with the pieces that fit in for each one that you do. And why don't you tell us a little bit about this one?
Oh, God. Okay. So it's in a month, September 20th, I would say. That sounds right. This last one will be, they call it the Beast, 13.1 miles, so a half marathon. Or actually, it's Spartan miles, so it might be more closer to 14. I can't say for sure. 30 obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what the obstacles are yet. Wait for that. They'll probably post that probably in the next couple of weeks. And am I ready? Oh, but it's quite planned.
Well, you're trying. You're getting out there, and
Yeah.
what time did you get up to run today?
So our water, we're taking up for a washer, so I had to go to the laundromat. So while the clothes was drying, I did a 2-mile run, so it was probably like 11 o'clock.
Okay.
While the clothes were drying, I was down 7 miles. So that was it.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get my endurance up, and I've never ever run 2 miles in my life, and that was like almost a first. Well, it was a first. I think I walked maybe an eighth of a mile out of it total. I think that's pretty good considering I don't run. I just
Did
don't.
you? So did you just like cold turkey run 2 miles, or had you been building up to it?
I'm building. I'm building.
Okay.
So, who are you kidding me?
like
No.
like I said before, if you see me running down the street, you should probably start running too.
Now, if there was an ice cream truck involved, maybe that'd have been a story.
Yeah, that could be. Although there has been one up the top of the hill where I live. My house is, the street goes up. It's pretty steep, and I saw the ice cream truck come across, and I'm like, nope, I could run there, but that's uphill. That's a totally different beast. That's a
Or
totally.
a taco truck. There we go. I'd be down for a taco truck.
Yeah. So, Dawn, a couple weeks ago, you were telling us that you were doing the lifts and stuff, the different training with those different the bells. What did you call those? The dumbbells. They had a name.
I want to hear more about her training.
Oh yeah, go right ahead.
As far as what? I mean, that's all I'm really doing is running. And well, besides working out at the gym, but that's pretty much the gist.
Aren't you preparing for some of the possible events?
Well, it's kind of hard because there's really nowhere in the area to prepare for these things. I mean, I got a rope in my backyard. I've gotten maybe this far to climb the rope. I mean, but there's like nowhere to like do like vertical climbs. I mean, how am I supposed to do that? Really no like sets of monkey bars anywhere.
Yeah, there is.
Where?
Isn't there some in the park? Hines Park?
Are those still there?
Yeah.
Oh, well, shit, I didn't know that. I better go check that out. Oh, it was by the old dog park, wasn't it? Or by the dog park, right?
I want to say it was near there, yes. It was between Ann Arbor Road and Merriman, I think.
By Nankin Mills?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'll have to go down there and look. And one other thing. So this random person on this forum I follow was looking for a training partner in the Livonia area. So I'm like, okay, I'm in Livonia. I'm happy to, train with somebody. Contacted the person. Haven't heard from them since.
They probably were like, oh shit, that means this is real. That means I have to train. Fuck.
Well, they're the ones that put it out there, not me.
Yep. But
So,
they probably went,
But yeah, I can't relate. They kind of went back and forth, and then the day that he wanted to train, I sent him a message from, hey, you still willing? And that was it. I was ghosted.
yeah, definitely.
As the kids like to say.
I gotta try to be hip. I'm the oldest one in the room. I gotta be hip.
Or get a new one.
Okay. You should. Oh, wait. Ouch. Anyways, but that's really my training right now is just running, working out at the gym. I've got some weights here at home. I've been trying to work myself up to. So.
What exercises are you doing to prepare?
Just more weight training. Okay. And still got, okay. Squats, bench pressing, curls, what are these? Oh, Arnold presses, these thingies, swing and press, put me on the spot. I'm trying to think. Halos, not the oranges. Or,
What does a halo do?
no. Jesus. Halo.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
You want to describe the action?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Basically, you take a weight, and you kind of just circle around your head like a halo.
Yeah. Just
And
one
forth.
hand on each side of the dumbbell, and
Yeah.
now me, I would find a way to drop it on my head.
I just about hit my head doing that, too. Yeah, I've been trying to do like assisted pull-ups with a band, and I had to take it easy the last couple of days because I had a biopsy on my arm, my biceps, for a mark I've had on there for as long as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't think it was cancerous, but they biopsied it just to be sure. I should have had the results probably in a week.
That's good.
Because
Hopefully it's nothing, but it's always good to have a check.
well, yeah, and that's what she said. She's like, the doctor, she's super cool. She's like, this is a good sunspot, but we're going to play it safe. We're going to biopsy it, take it, and just send it out, and just to be safe. And I promised Rita Salvaggio that when she passed away, before she passed away, I would get it checked out. I kept my promise.
Good, good.
She died from melanoma cancer. And sister.
Why did you promise her?
Because she passed from melanoma cancer.
Oh,
Hmm.
no.
Yeah.
Let's try this again.
Okay.
Didn't she have a mark that she ignored for the longest time? And
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, she had a mark on, I think she said the back of her leg that she ignored for 20 years. And then all of a sudden it flared up on her. And by the time she got it checked out, it was too late.
Mm.
So when she shared her story, I told her about my arm, and she goes, don't make the same mistake I did. So I promised her I would get it looked at. So, it took a little while. If I had to reschedule it because I can't take time off in June at work, I got it looked at.
describe the mark.
Describe it.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. There might be somebody listening who thinks, well, I got a mark, but I don't know if this is the kind of mark she's talking about. So describe the mark.
Basic, I guess is the best way to describe it. It was like probably maybe the size of a dime, and it was like a kind of looked like a sunspot. Shit. I don't know. Kind of like that. I don't know if you can see it. Kind of like that, but much bigger.
Yeah.
That's definitely like a sunspot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she looked at that one. But it's like she says like a size of a dime. Wasn't really discolored. Kind of like a brownish color. I guess that's the best way to describe it. So they numbed it, took this little scrapey thing, and which did not hurt, thank God.
Yeah. Like 3 years ago, actually, when I was coming back from my father-in-law's funeral, I had this. I thought it was a pimple. It just showed up, literally showed up overnight. It felt like it was painful, and like I said, it felt like a pimple. It looked like a whitehead or something. It was not good. And by the time I got into my dermatologist up in northern Michigan, which I had to wait for 6 weeks to get an appointment, she looked at it, and there was a name for it, and of course I forgot. It's a 2-word name, but she said it was a precancerous thing. So they removed it and sent it out, and they confirmed it, and then they came back in and they dug it one more time just to make sure that everything was out, and it's out. But I have this lovely red bump, which after they said that, I kind of freaked out a bit. I'm like, oh my gosh, is this, it keeps coming back. Is it one of those things? And so they removed the red part like 6 months after, and it came back that it was just scar tissue. So I have another appointment in November for another head to toe. But yeah, ever since what happened with Teresa, I've been telling everybody too, if you see a mark, if it itches, if it's changed shape, if it's gotten bigger,
Getting painful all of a sudden.
yep, or if you're just not sure, don't take a chance. Have it checked out.
Yep. Exactly what I did. So.
Yeah. Have you ever had that happen?
Lovely little hole.
Oh yeah. Have you ever had anything like that happen, Dawn?
No.
No? Okay. So,
I was going to say something. I just put paper. I vapor lock. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm doing that right now. But yeah, Dawn, you were talking about you had tried working out with these really cool, very big 55-pound dumbbells that you could just.
I'm talking about that.
Well, it was before when you asked a little bit more about Deanne's stuff. I was asking.
No, you were asking me about it. I wasn't talking about it.
No, I was asking you to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. It was just pretty badass. It was just pretty badass, that's all. Okay, so is there anything special that you want to talk about, Dawn? Anything? I turned the floor over to you.
No.
Nothing about Ghislaine Maxwell?
You're running the show. You tell me.
Okay.
I'm sorry, who's Dwayne Maxwell?
Ghislaine. Yeah. Hold on a second. So we're going to move on to Ghislaine Maxwell, and Dawn has some really good points to make about her. The recording of her meeting with the prosecutor or the Justice Department guy. Of course, I can't remember his name, but I know his name. But I know Dawn knows.
Todd Blanche.
What?
Todd Blanche.
Todd Blanche. Okay, yeah. And the fact that Ghislaine, right after this, was moved to basically Club Fed in Bryan, Texas. So, Dawn, take it away.
Actually, you're sort of right, sort of wrong.
Okay.
originally, the Cliff Notes version is she was in a maximum security prison. Everyone started pressuring old Yam Tits about the Epstein files, which he was saying he didn't want to delve into it because there was no story there, even though he promised during the majority of his campaign he would reveal it. And they even gave folders, God knows if they were full or not, to influencers, not respectable influencers, but influencers nonetheless. And then all of a sudden, her name pops up. For lack of better words, because I can never pronounce her fucking first name, we're going to call her the Maxwell bitch.
Okay.
So she, at one point, was told, okay, you can appeal your conviction, but it would have to be like through the Supreme Court or something like that, which I believe is still pending. However, in the processes of doing so, she had confided to her brother that she was in fear for her life because of all this, because she is the only one living who could say what is basically in those files. So there was a nice little meeting between Todd Blanche, Bondi, and if I'm not mistaken, the bug-eyed, coked-out whack job that is the head of the FBI. And they basically interviewed her, and the results came out recently where she said that old Yam Tits never did anything inappropriate in front of her, which technically is probably true. I mean, did she participate in a lot of the stuff that Epstein did? Yeah. Was she a groomer? Yeah. Was she in the room at every little turn for whatever may or may not have happened? Probably not. So, in a technical sense, she could be probably right. But for the most part, she was moved to Club Fed before the interview. Then they interviewed her, and then all of a sudden now it comes out that she said she not only didn't see Yam Tits perform anything inappropriate, but she does not believe Epstein killed himself. So technically, in a vague way, she probably is telling the truth in a weird sort of way. Because maybe she didn't see Trump, old Yam Tits. Hello, Kitty.
For anybody who can't see, Deanne is off screen, but her cat is making an appearance. Ears, tail, just checking things out. So go ahead, Dawn.
Well, anyway, basically she's doing that vague thing, like where a parent goes up to the kid and said, well, did you break the vase? Well, I was in the room. It is broken somehow, but did you break it? Well, define break. She's being vague, very open. So do I think she's telling the truth? Maybe 20%. Do I think old Yam Tits did inappropriate things, allegedly? Well, look at his track record. He decided to get basically buy the rights to the, was it Miss America pageant or Miss USA pageant? One of the two. And he walked in. Now, they were all, for the most part, underage girls. He walks in on them because he can, because he owns the hotel. So what? That doesn't give you the right to walk into a women's dressing room. Coming down an escalator, he sees a little girl. He goes, hi, how old are you? I'm 5. Oh, I'll be dating her in a few years. Come on. I mean, he has a history and a penchant for young girls. And he's already made it abundantly clear he'll kiss them or grab them by the pussy if his mood even so swings it. And let's not forget, look what he did to Ivanka. No, not Ivanka, Ivana. Ivana.
Yeah.
Well, he did do something to Ivanka, too. He basically said if I wasn't her dad, I'd be fucking her right now.
Yeah.
But essentially, he was pissed off about his hair plugs, and he basically pulled out her hair and then raped her. And how his two little bitch kids didn't raise a fuss over the fact that he buried her in an unmarked grave on his golf course?
Yeah.
I mean, does that have anything to do with Epstein? No. But the man is slime. He's absolute swill. He's garbage. He's literally, dare I even say it, he's the stuff you, nice tits. Anyway, he's the stuff you scrape at the bottom of the barrel to get to the gross shit underneath. He's the gross shit underneath. So, and besides, you don't have X amount of FBI agents, I think it was several hundred, spend thousands of hours, roughly. Pardon me, I could be exaggerating that slightly, but it was thousands of pages to scrub his name from the record. If you're an innocent motherfucker, why would you do that?
Right.
Why would you do it?
Yep.
So the whole thing with the bitch Maxwell, or the Maxwell bitch, to have her all of a sudden say, well, I didn't see it, that's just basically saying, well, my back was turned at the time. For all I know, he could have been making balloon animals.
Mm-hmm.
And the sick part about all of this, and speaking from experience as a person who has been, dare I say it, diddled as a child, the fact that these motherfuckers are trying to hide all this stuff and not allow the victims to have their say, to have their due, to have justice, for fuck's sake. And all these other maggots who are absolutely okay with that. This is a sick fucking country. And he needs to fucking go. He has all the money he could possibly want, but yet his fat ass always wants more. And he's doing things that honestly have nothing to do with the presidency. No president is allowed to sell crypto. No president is allowed to sell fucking tennis shoes and bullshit Bibles. They're supposed to serve the fucking people.
Yep.
So I'm sorry, if he is Mr. 100% innocent, release the Epstein files, unredacted, unedited. If there's anybody on there that people suspect that I might lose my freaking respect for, fuck it. They need to pay the price.
Agreed.
And that includes him. I am fucking sick and tired of this motherfucker using the office of the United States to basically act like the biggest bargain basement Teflon Don in history. If you think he's the greatest president ever, and don't get me started on him whitewashing the Smithsonian because of the simple fact he wants it to be his history, the history that he believes is to be fact. That's a slap in the face to anyone like me who loves history.
Right.
You have to love it, warts and all. And this motherfucker wants you to forget it because it doesn't fit his narrative of history.
Right. He says that that the history, that slavery wasn't all that bad, or it wasn't all bad. Like, there is nothing about slavery that is good. Nothing. Nothing.
Don't you add Jillian Michaels, who said it was unfair that only one race gets blamed for it?
I mean,
Talk about the Biggest Loser. There you go. There she is. And she's on my fucking team.
and it is true that it wasn't, yeah, it wasn't only white people, Caucasian people that did it. Spanish did it. Lots of people did it, but we were the most prolific perpetrators and enablers of slavery. Even England and Europe banned it decades, if not half a century, before we did in this country. And And for somebody to say that the kidnapping of one race of people, the transportation of them in the waters where some of them die, only to bring them to a totally different place that they know nothing about, to sell them to work, to how anybody can think that that's not bad in all the way is just, yeah, like you said, slime below the scum of the barrel. Yeah. So, yeah.
So who wants to bet the over and under that she gets pardoned within the next month? Which will be a colossal error on his part, because again, it goes back to the victims. You had girls testify directly that she not only groomed them, she participated in their abuse.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of shitstorm that's going to start?
Oh, yeah. But I don't think he cares. But, I mean, he moved her from a maximum security to a minimum security.
Not to put on the tinfoil hat, but why do you honestly think there's the National Guard in Washington? It has nothing to do with Big Balls getting kicked in his big balls. It has nothing to do with that. The crime rate in Washington, D.C., while shitty, was not as bad as they're making it out to be.
No, it had been going down, yeah.
The reason why the Washington National Guard is there, the reason why National Guard is there from 6 different states is because they're afraid. They are petrified of what's coming because they know what's coming. I'm not going to say it out loud because I'm pretty sure the FBI has already got me on the list, because let's segue into that after this. The point is they know the people are getting pissed. There is going to be an uprising of which you have no comprehension to believe. I don't want to see it happen. I want to see him frickin' just leave. Leave. He has the money. He can buy fucking an island if he doesn't already have one. Fucking leave. Grift to your heart's content outside of the country, but get the fuck out of my country.
Right.
They're petrified because the Lincoln Project, if I'm not mistaken, put out an ad that showed them all at a fancy dinner eating nice, decadent, desserts and eating steak and all having a gay old time and da-da-da. Meanwhile, the people they conned, and I'm not talking about the diehard maggots. No. I'm talking about the ones that actually honestly believed for a minute that he was actually on their side. Okay? But the price of eggs hasn't gone down all that much. Hell, I was at the grocery store today. For a dozen eggs for one particular brand was close to $10. The cheapest you got was maybe $4. Woo! He claims gas is $1.89. Tell me where. I would love to fill up there. I don't think I've seen it below $2.80 in over 4 years, maybe. Oh no, wait a minute. There was times during Biden's presidency that the price of gas was actually a little low, but not that much. I will call credit where credit is due. He did not lower gas prices all that much. I can tell you on an average how much I spend out of my check every week just on groceries because it's not going down. But do you think Yam Tits cares? No. Yam Tits only cares about Yam Tits. He doesn't care about you, doesn't care about me, doesn't care about anybody. He doesn't even care about his kids. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He'd throw them under the bus faster than he could fucking waddle into a McDonald's before he would care about his kids.
Right.
But the point I'm trying to make is it showed these people getting angry, burning their hats, burning their flags. They're already burning the flags. I've already seen it firsthand. People are burning their Trump 2024 MAGA flags because they're pissed off at what is going on. They're like, this isn't what I voted for. Meanwhile, a rational human being is sitting there like this. oh, really? This isn't what you voted for. He only basically pointed it out. You just opted not to listen. You didn't want to listen to people like us because you didn't want us to say, told you so. You didn't want to, and here's the thing, I totally get it. People don't want to be made to feel stupid. I know I don't. But they really didn't want to be stupid or be made to feel stupid. And now that he's doing everything he can to make their lives even worse, it's starting to turn around. Now, do I think there's enough that have turned around to, kick him out the door? No, not even close. There's still so many misguided motherfuckers out there. The one that I would still love to meet face to face is that one dickhead with the golden trump right here and the stupid little beard, and he's got his hat on, and he thinks he's a rapper. I'd like to wrap my fist around his fucking throat.
Yeah.
And that's if he ever catches us, yes, dude, I would love to fight you. You wouldn't win. Trust me, motherfucker, you wouldn't. I got too much rage behind these 54 years. You don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
But the point back to it is they got people in Washington, the National Guard, from, like I said, 6 different states, is because they know they have to protect that asshole. Because it was bad enough when they pardoned the January 6 rioters that actually killed police officers. Now they're basically saying, okay, police officers, we want you to enforce these, and they're doing it, but I guarantee you there's a lot that don't, they're like, nah, just put me behind the desk, I'm okay. But they know shit's coming. They know it. As a matter of fact, I am imploring you guys to make a bet with me. If I'm wrong, I'll be very quiet. The whole show, I'll just sit here, stone face, and not make a sound. But I'm going to make a bet with you. February 2nd. When's Memorial Day? I'm really off the rails. When's Labor Day? What's the date?
September 1st.
Okay. September 2nd. There's going to be a massive rally in Washington, D.C., welcoming Congress back, who decided to take an early vacation because they didn't want to vote on the Epstein files. Okay? Now, let us analyze, and I hope to God it don't happen, but let us think about it for just a heartbeat. I'm about to put the fear of God into anyone listening. What do you think's going to happen when the protesters show up on September 2nd with the National Guard there? Federal police that are already arresting some people, one in particular for throwing a sandwich. Assault with a deadly pastrami.
It's not going to be good.
I don't even want to watch the TV. I don't want to watch any streaming services. I don't want to even be on social media on that day. I am going to focus only on working out and working because I'm afraid I'm going to be right. I am really afraid I'm going to be right because a lot of people that talk about protests, they're tired about the protests making it look like it's fucking Woodstock. They're all singing, they're dancing, they're making cute signs. Meanwhile, there's a good portion that are about ready to go fucking civil unrest.
Yeah.
So I'm calling it right now. I hope I'm wrong. Like I said, if I'm wrong, I will sit here, say I'm wrong, and I'm just going to sit here and keep my mouth shut for the whole show. I got a bad feeling. I got a real bad feeling.
Yeah.
And if we go in one last reason why I got a bad feeling, yes, I decided to do the talking points. There's a thing called Project Esther. Okay? They already basically started it with Bondi's nice little letter to the different governors and different offices basically saying, if you continue having safe cities for immigrants and whatever, we're going to arrest you. Project Esther also covers, are you an American? Are you a real American? Because if you're a real American, you do not criticize anything American. The president, the vice president, pardon me, couchfucker, Pete Kegsbreath, Bondage, Christie, oh look, a dog. If you say anything disparaging, negative, it's to the gulag with you. If you say anything even if it sounds innocent, like, I like this country better back in 1993, to the gulag with you. You can't say anything they deem anti-American. If you do, to the gulag with you. This is not America. This is now 36, 37 Germany.
Right.
I know people like to make that comparison to the point where it gets almost ridiculous, but if you do not take this seriously, it's going to get way fucking worse.
Well, they're doing it right now in Russia. People are afraid to say anything and give their real thoughts on the Ukraine war, on Putin. Basically, even if is there enough bread? Say, just as an example, a Russian friend of mine from 20, 30 years ago, she would say, we have plenty of money, we have nothing to buy with the money. They were low on bread, but if you said that, you'd go to prison. And so what you're describing there sounds very much like what Russia's going through today, and we all know that the Mango Menace reveres Putin and everything Russian. So this has his handprints all over it too.
Wouldn't shock me in the least.
Yeah.
But the point is that I never thought, and I know I say this a lot, but it's like they take the line and push it back, and we're either apathetic about it or we're treating it as it's normal. But I never fucking thought in my life, as advanced as we were starting to get, we're regressing so badly to the point where this podcast could get us arrested because we're voicing our discontent. So, I don't know, how do I put this? And I'm going to put it delicately, because I know people who used to or still believe in the fact that over a couple of decades ago, they thought the UN choppers were coming, the Black Hawk choppers were coming to take over. Our country was going to be taken over by a bunch of UN soldiers in blue hats. And I kind of want to look at them and go, well, where are they? Meanwhile, you got an asshole from New York who could give two shits about anyone except for how much money they can put in his pocket. And he doesn't even care about that. He just wants the money in his pocket.
Right.
He's the one. I don't even totally blame him. He's a fucking puppet. He's just in it for the money. The people that put in Project 2025, they're the ones fucking behind this shit. Stephen Miller is fucking behind this shit. And it should absolutely, whether you want to, focus on it or not, this should scare the fucking shit out of you. I do not believe in those conspiracy nut jobs who used to think about the Black Hawk copters coming. They're circling. Or thinking the UN was going to take over this country. Because if that were the case, I think maybe we might have been better off. Because look where we're at. So that's just my 2 cents on the Cliff Notes version. If you don't believe me, look it up. What are you laughing at over there?
My cat almost falling off the rail.
I think we're all going to go off the rails soon enough.
Yeah.
But the point is like I said, if you don't believe me, just do your own research. And don't come at me and go, well, that's just fake research at what you grabbed. You don't have to even look at recent. Dig. Fucking dig. There's shit that exists from back in 1980, 85 that will show you everything that Trump has done, said, and will eventually do if you just fucking look.
Yep.
Take off the blinders, take off the fucking, rose-colored glasses. The motherfucker is not in it for you. He never has been. He never will be. And I remember someone posted, I think it was Hillary Clinton said, if he managed to do peace between Ukraine and Russia, she would, endorse him wholeheartedly. And I'm like, yeah, because that would be good. But he doesn't care about doing anything good. He doesn't. Wake the fuck up. You hate the term being woke, but you need to fucking wake up. And when you do me a favor. Send a Big Mac to Washington and keep your fingers crossed.
Right.
That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being woke. That just means that your eyes are open to the bullshit that's really happening. And if someone calls me woke, I say thank you. It's better than sleepwalking through life. I mean, it's scarier because you're no longer oblivious to what's going on. You see the crap and the shit. You could tell what's going to happen. And yeah, a lot of times I feel sorry for people that are like dancing around like, oh, it's all going to be sunshine and tulips and daisies and unicorns. And no, it's not. And yeah, I'm getting that same feeling that I had right before the January 6th when he started telling people on Trump or on Twitter to meet in Washington on January 6th. It's going to be one hell of a time and blah, blah. I knew something was going to happen. He had something planned. I mean, you didn't have to be a conspiracy theorist to see it. You didn't have to be psychic to feel it. You just knew. If you were paying attention. So, but sorry, there's the kitty again. So I'm going to segue now. I like seeing kitties. My baby Belle passed away on the 15th. She was a sweet girl, 13 years old. She had an upper respiratory infection. We tried to treat it with steroids and some high dosage antibiotics, but it turned out that she was allergic to the antibiotics, and we stopped that, and then she started to mouth breathe. She couldn't breathe out of her nose. She went blind. Took her back in last Friday, and it turns out that she had a tumor above her palate, and it was sitting on her nerves, her eyes, her optic nerves, and blocking off her nasal passages, and there was nothing they could do. So we were not about to let her suffer anymore because she couldn't even eat. When we were at least outside, and the vet came outside onto the picnic table, and so she could be in the sun a little bit more. But when she passed away in my arms, after I was done crying, I kind of looked into her mouth, and yeah, you couldn't even see her throat. That's how low the palate was. And so I knew I had done the right thing. It's just hard. I mean, I loved her, but she was the hubby's baby. And he sobbed when I told them that she was finally gone. And it's weird, you know, I converted the guest bedroom back from being Belle's bedroom. It'll always be Belle's bedroom, but I turned it back into a guest bedroom. You know, she had her cat box in there and her food and everything. And now the good news is that my neighbor just rescued basically a little kitten who's probably 8 or 9 weeks old. There's a bridge here in town that goes over the river from where the Jordan River becomes Lake Charlevoix, and she was trapped trying to cross the road, and they stopped and got her. Her name's Sheba, but my neighbors don't have a lot of money, and it just worked out that I was able to give them the cat carrier, the cat stroller, her food bowls, a whole bunch of food, like all of her food, all of her toys, a little cat perch. What's the kitten's name again, Deanne?
That one?
Yeah.
Vixen.
Okay, yeah, Vixen is an attention whore. She's really fluffy. She's really fluffy, but yeah. So it was hard, and I know that that Dawn just had her cat pass away not too long ago. So it's a rough thing, but but anyways, we were talking about Labor Day. That's coming up. You know, that's this weekend. Anybody got any big plans? I mean, doing anything?
Me?
Yard work and grilling.
Okay, that sounds good.
Me, possibly, not 100% sure, maybe taking Jean to Henry Ford Village, not 100% on that yet. Rob's going up to Frankfurt to go see his mom, because he hasn't seen her in a couple of years. And then, so it's going to be just Jean and I, so maybe Henry Ford Village, invited to a barbecue Sunday, may go, may not, haven't decided. Other than that, maybe just cleaning the house.
So, Jean's been there before, right?
Where?
To Greenfield Village, Henry Ford?
Honestly, probably the last time she was there was she was in elementary school.
Okay.
Because
Well,
Jean is such a, I don't like to do anything. She likes to sit, watch cartoons, do her game, and that's just Jean. So I have to force her to do that.
Well, they have, it's really cool because last time I went, I got to get a ride on those old cars. And you just got in the back seat and they took you around and then you pulled back in and you could ride on the buses too. And they have a carousel. So the carousel's pretty neat.
Is that the village or is that the village or the museum?
In the village, yeah.
I was thinking the museum.
Okay. Well, the village is really cool though because they have the carousel. There's lots to see. And if she needs help walking around or if she gets tired, they do have those little scooters that they rent. Or, you know, like last time I took Nana, I rented a wheelchair because I mean she could walk, but she got tired. So I just gave her a ride.
Yeah, we have a wheelchair for Jean. So.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what we would do, or what I would do, because if she walks too far, it triggers a seizure.
Right.
So
right.
I have to like really watch with her.
Right.
Other than that, not really doing much.
Inside the museum itself, there's a really cool, it's a diner. It's an old silver diner. And you can eat in there. You can sit in the booth, get a milkshake. And again, that was something that I did with Nana the last time I was there. And she loved it because she's like, we had these things when I was growing up. And so I got her a chocolate malted, and I even have a picture of her in a pink sweater with the malt glass with the red and white stripe. And she's like, so.
Sonia, I'm sorry, Sonia, did you get the dinner recently, or is it just for fireworks?
I think the last time I was there was like maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago.
Was it the village or the museum?
Both.
Oh, okay. How much is it nowadays? Do you know?
To be honest, I got in for free because a friend of mine at work has a membership. But if memory serves me correctly, It's, I think, under $30. I'm
Okay.
not 100% certain on it. It might have gone up since. But just some heads up on certain things at the museum part, not the village part. Certain areas, they kind of, you can still look at them, but you can't enter them like you used to. Like the one thing I thought was, though it gives me dizzy spells, but there's a round circular house.
The Dymaxian house.
The what?
It's called the Dymaxian house.
Anyway, 20 minutes. Anyway, you basically go around into different rooms. Like you can start in the bedroom, then the bathroom, then the kitchen, then the living room, and but it's a complete round circle. You can't go in there anymore. I think ever since the pandemic, I think and for all I know, they might have opened it back up, but because of the pandemic, you couldn't have people in enclosed spaces like that. So you can look at it from the outside, but you can't go in it like you used to. They also have a thing in there that might interest her. I'm not sure. It's in the innovation station area where you can look through and see different shapes form into one, or it just breaks it off into countless different ones. Different things you can do. They're all interactive. You don't have to pay to go in them.
They said those penny machines.
Yeah. But I always find it funny that you have to spend over a penny to crush a penny.
Yeah. Those wax things. Remember they always say
They
wax
do
trains
still have
and
the
stuff?
wax things, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't see the wax trains.
No.
But to be honest, I wasn't looking, but I didn't see them. I just saw the things where you can crush a penny, and they have this big photo booth. Not like the one that's outside the gift store, but it's a giant photo booth where a bunch of people can stand there and get their picture taken. It's like $8. So.
Okay. One other thing. Is it paid parking or is it free parking?
Free parking.
It's free, but I don't know if they tack on parking to the at admission price, because if you've ever been to holiday or even Halloween nights at the village, they tack parking onto it.
Oh, so it's like all inclusive basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, so it's not set in stone yet, or we're debating.
You can go online; they'll tell you.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, it's $9 per vehicle at Greenfield Village in Henry Ford.
Okay.
And you were talking about the Dymaxian house. That is, it looks like a silver flying saucer. You got the silver top that kind of looks like the top of an onion, and then you have the glass, and then the bottom it's all stainless steel. I don't know if you could see it. It's can you see it? Anyways, that's my favorite exhibit, and yeah, I'm just really bummed that if it's not open anymore. It was meant to be, kind of pre-made and then assembled on site. It's the only one that there is. It was a prototype. They never went anywhere with it. But it is pretty cool. They've got some really neat inventions, like space-saving inventions. A lot of them should be used right now, but they aren't. So.
Do you know why they were originally created?
No, why?
World War II soldiers coming home.
Okay.
Starting a house, basically. It was like ready-made, boom. But no one really invested in it.
And that said, right now, absolutely right now, they could do it. The problem being is that stainless steel now, it's expensive. So, but we have a ton of containers. They could make, I've seen other states, actually even England, they made parks of communities, tiny homes out of these container ships. And that really helped their homeless community, because now, you have places for these people to live, and part of getting to live here is you're enrolled. Once you live here, you now have to be enrolled in classes to learn a trade or to get your GED. They help you find a job. They help you open a bank account.
Be right back. Potty time.
Yeah. So you can get, it's a step up, not a handout. And, I mean, the hardest part about housing, I mean, besides the land, if you had containers, little containers like that, you could easily do a 1-bedroom, 1-bath kitchen/living room thing.
Mm-hmm.
Easily do that. The most expensive thing about new housing is, besides the property, is the actual structure itself. And you could get these old container ships that are no longer viable for shipping, but you can repurpose them for these container ship tiny homes. Anyway, so
The air circulation in there would be very good. I mean, yes, you had to like put windows and stuff, but
right. But I mean, like I said, these are things that they've done over in England with the same containers, and the people love them. They've even made some, like if they wanted to add a second room, they put like half a container ship on top of it together and stairs. It's really pretty cool.
maybe like a duplex, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, if you're going to solve problems like that, you really have to start thinking outside of the box.
Yeah.
No pun intended. no pun intended. Oh my gosh.
What are you going to do for Labor Day? You didn't even say for you.
I actually am not doing anything, because on September 6th, I'm driving downstate to fly to Miami on the 7th to go on a cruise on the 8th with my best friend. It's the last hurrah. He's finally got himself a girlfriend, and he's really happy.
Aww.
He's really good for him, so I'm very happy.
Give us time, Lord.
Yes. But it's going to be like the last, he's like my travel husband. Any place that Brad doesn't want to go to, he's like, yeah, I'll go. But yeah, this is going to be the last solo Stacey Sean thing. If we go on a trip again, it'll be Sean and Michelle and Brad and I, which is fine. That's cool. But we're going to be on the Star of the Seas, Royal Caribbean 4-night. And we leave Monday, come back Friday. Or not Star of the Seas, sorry, Wonder of the Seas. It was the second biggest, until in 2023, it was the largest cruise ship in the world. And then Icon of the Seas came out January 2024. And just Friday, they just launched Star of the Seas. And that's now the biggest. So I'm on technically the third biggest one, the cruise ship. But I'm excited because my best friend tends to get bored very, very easily. We're going to Coco Key. It's the perfect day at Coco Cay, or whatever they call it. I made sure to get him, I reserved the jet ski for him. And he's like, don't you want a jet ski? I said, I will kill myself. I will run into something and I will die in the Bahamas. Sharks will eat my body, and my husband will be $75,000 richer, because that's what the payoff on my life insurance is. But I said, no, I got that for you. I'm just gonna sit poolside. I got the pass to their beach club, which is by pass only. It's not open to everybody. It's got a swim up bar and everything like that. So we're doing that, and then it's at sea on Wednesday. Thursday, it's Nassau, Bahamas. And I am excited. It didn't really hit for me because I love the Stars show Black Sails. Love anything pirate. Love it. Did not realize that, and especially me, I love history just like Dawn, that Nassau used to be called New Providence, and it was basically the pirate republic. There were more pirates in New Providence than there were regular citizens. And a guy named Captain Woodes Rogers got appointed by the king to govern that area, and he gave him permission to offer all the pirates a king's pardon if they would either turn privateer or stop all pirates. And they get land, they get everything. Most of them said yes and retired. The ones that he couldn't convince, he hunted down and hanged. And that was basically the end of the Pirates of the Caribbean type thing down there. But they have a pirates museum, which is like a diorama you walk through of how it used to look way back like in the early 1700s. Mm-hmm. If by 1718, piracy, I mean, there were still pirates out on the waters and stuff like that, but Nassau stopped being the place where pirates would come. It wasn't safe for them anymore, of course. But so I'm excited about that. And then we've got shows that are we're going to something called the Effectors 2, which is some sort of special effects gymnastics, like special effects stunt show having to do with their version of the Avengers. I guess it's like I've never heard of it, but it looked cool. It's only a 50-minute show. I'm like, if we get bored, we can get up and leave. I've booked an ice skating show that I wanted to see. If he wants to get up and leave, he can leave. I just want to see people ice skating on a ship. And then the last night, the adult comedy show, and that's going to be fun. That'll be cool to see. But the one must I did have was the all-inclusive drink package. So that's going to be fun. And I booked us one night at a place called Chop Steakhouse, which is wonderful. I went on the one at Voyager of the Seas in January or December, and it was really good. They've got really good food. But then, we disembarked on Friday, and instead of getting a plane back that day, we got a plane back on Saturday, so we're going to be staying in Miami overnight, and the hotel is near Little Havana. So we're going to kind of check that out. That's going to be pretty neat. So I'm excited. As long as there's no hurricanes, knock wood, it'll be good. I didn't realize when I booked this last December that, I booked it for the middle of the prime time of hurricane season. Like, didn't even realize it, I mean, I should have thought about it. If that had been the case, I would have done it for November. But
you'll be all right. It's not usually what they do is they'll veer around.
Yeah.
Your itinerary will just change. That's all.
Yeah. This will be the third time that I've tried to get to the Bahamas. The first time my trip got canceled. Last time we were supposed to go to the Bahamas, but the waves were too big to dock, so they sent us to another place, a crappy place in Mexico. I didn't even get off the ship, and it was also crappy because there were thunderstorms and torrential rains, and I stood on my balcony watching people come in on the deck off the dock, and they looked like drowned rats. Every single one of them drowned rats. I bet. But I'm excited to go, and it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So, yep, and then come back on Saturday, and I have to decide. I think we may be getting back early enough. I was just gonna stay at a hotel there in Romulus, but I think we're just gonna end up taking an Uber back to my friend's house, which is where we're leaving my car, and taking an Uber from his house to the airport. It's just cheaper than paying nightly rental thing, which pisses me off. When I went last time, I came back. I was over by 15 minutes because my plane was delayed. They charged me for another night. And I'm like, seriously? I'm here. Only it's not even my fault. You can check to see when my plane landed. And it wasn't us. I didn't arrive here by foot. Your shuttle brought me here. Your shuttle was late getting me here, you know? But anyways, I think that we're just going to go back to his house, and I know he'll be excited to see his dogs, and I might force him to go to National Coney Island because that'll be the last good coney I'll have for quite a while. We have conies up here, but they're fakes. They're wannabes. They're not real. They toast the fucking buns. You don't toast buns on a coney dog. You steam them. If you don't put red onions on the, it's white onions, it's chili, white onions, and then mustard on top of that. But I digress. So, sorry. Don't mess with the food, man. Anyways.
Okay.
So, but yeah, while Dawn was away, off camera for a minute, we were talking about different uses for, like the containers that come in the big metal containers that usually come on the ships and stuff. We were just talking about that, but that needed.
I mean, the funny thing about this is the audio is still going, so I can hear you in another room.
Well,
So,
I said you were off camera.
But you're repeating.
But anyways, yeah, I had a little roofing issue here myself. Back in January or February, we had the winter from hell. Normally, up where I live, there's normally an average of 110 inches of snow. The final total for last winter here just came out, 240 inches of snow. 200 inches snowed every fucking day.
And that wasn't including that ice storm, right?
Right. That was before the ice storm, because it didn't snow after the ice storm. That ice storm was like the last big, fuck you to everybody in the northern Michigan. But all that snow piles up on your roof, and at a certain point, it's like having a truck on your roof. It's heavy. You've got to get it off. And so I hired a company. They said they were insured. They charged me $1,000, and they came and they removed 3 feet of snow off my roof. Anybody who lives in northern Michigan or the UP knows when you shovel off the snow, you do not take it down to the shingles. You leave a ½ inch to an inch of snow just so you don't damage the shingles. I didn't know this until after, because I am from downstate. And this was the first bad winter that we've had up here. Downstate, 34 inches of snow, Metro Detroit, that's the max. And it usually is gone. It doesn't pile up to 3 feet. I've never, ever, ever had to rake any roof that I've ever lived in.
I think you're forgetting 2014. That's a story.
Yeah, but that was, it was, I don't know if we ever got 3 feet of snow on the roof, though.
Pretty close, because if you recall, that was the snowiest year we ever had on record, and it never, in 3 months, got above freezing.
Okay.
And we had snowstorm after snowstorm after snowstorm after snowstorm.
Yeah,
that was the year I bought my snowblower and it got its work out.
Oh yeah. So I don't remember that one, but I'm sure I complained about it. I didn't really know what I was. If I would have known then what I know now, I would have counted myself lucky. I went down to see my mom in January, and my flight was supposed to take off on Friday, and there was an ice storm in Atlanta, which meant that we did not. Well, basically, my plane got canceled. Long story short, my plane got canceled. Had to fly out the next day, but this lady, this entire time while we're waiting to find out if the plane's canceled, we have to get this plane off the ground now. There's a storm coming in. We're not going to be able to fly in all that snow. So she has me worried. So I'm like, how much snow are we supposed to get? She goes, 2 inches. I laughed out loud. I'm sorry. I laughed out loud. She goes, well, it's not funny. I said, lady, I live in northern Michigan. I hope and pray it's only 2 inches when they say we're getting snow. We drive to work if it's 4 inches, 5 inches of snow. Now the good thing is that when it's like 6 inches of snow, the schools get canceled, and when the school gets canceled, I don't have to drive into work because when the school's closed, the church is closed. Bad news is I still have to work because I can remote in. But at least, I don't have to put on clothes. I could just sit in my PJs all day if I wanted. Anyways, so that being said, before he did any work on my roof, I said, are you insured? He gave me a copy of his insurance. I'm like, okay, he did the work. Around April, I start smelling a little bit of a musty smell, like moisture in the air. And my basement is usually dry. There's no moisture in the basement. I've never smelled moisture in the actual basement itself. But in the breezeway that leads down there, I started smelling this moisture, mustiness. And my neighbor across the way, because we're on a hill, his house sits above mine and you can see right down on a roof. His uncle is a roofer, and he works for his uncle. He's like, do you know that you have several places that I can see where your roof is damaged, where you're missing shingles? I'm like, what? So we got up there and we looked, and yeah, there were shingles that were broken, shingles that were missing. Now, last October, we had a roof guy come over, and he patched a certain area that he knew was leaking, and so he patched that, and then we had the breezeway, $3,000 entirely ripped down to the studs, re-insulated, new drywall, paint, new fixture, looked really good. Mm-hmm. Well, now here it is, the middle of May, and I'm seeing this line running up along the seam, and I'm looking up, I'm like, shit. Well, by the end of May, I'm telling this guy, I'm like, hey, look, you need to come over here. You damaged our roof. Can you come over? If you could fix it, that's great. We really don't want to have to go against your insurance because that's going to raise your rates. We just want you to fix it. He ghosted us, wouldn't answer us back. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I filed a claim, and guy never answered us back. The claim guy, wasn't until like we called his boss, and he's like, oh, well, I sent this on June 22nd. I look back and like, we never got anything from you on June 22nd. So we sent him all the pictures, the inspections from 2 different roofing companies, and they all both said that your roof, over 51% of it has been damaged by artificial means, not by weather, but by using tools, not necessarily metal tools, but plastic tools in freezing weather, that the shingles are brittle. And so anyways, by the time all this is happening, that seam now, all the paint has peeled and it's falling in clumps from how wet it is up there. And we got a denial letter from the insurance company saying, well, yeah, if he had still had that insurance in force, then we can do it. But however, he stopped paying in March, and in April we canceled his insurance. And had it been occurrence only, then we could have filed and they would have granted it. But it was policy only. So as long as the policy was in effect, then they would grant, but it wasn't. And I had a lawyer look over, and she's like, yes, we think it was appropriately denied. You're going to have to go get the guy, but we did some research. He's not collectible. He's not even licensed with the state of Michigan. He's not supposed to be working on roofs. So if the insurance was still in force, the fact that he was working on my roof without a license would have still negated that insurance. So now we have to come up with $21,000 to basically get a whole new roof. And so I am looking at everything I could possibly look at. Thank God we got this insurance, or this company. It's called CR3 Roofing. They're really good guys. They did the roof at my church that I work for. They gave us a really good deal because it's a referral thing. They've agreed we're going to pay $500, and they're going to put blue tarping, like the professional blue tarping like they do for hurricanes. Nail it down, it'll get us through the winter, and then when we go to do the new roof, they'll take that money off the cost of the roof, which I think is really good. They don't have to do that. So they're going to do that. So I've been looking at different grants and things like that. I think I found one with the Northwest Michigan Community Action Agency that will let, you can apply for the grant or the loan. And if it's over a certain amount, like if it's over $2,500, it's zero payment, 0% interest, but it's basically like the lien on your house. When you go to sell the house, which the Northwest Michigan actually. So I will be trying to do that. I'll be applying for that after we get off the show here. So, yeah, that's gonna be interesting. My homeowner's insurance, though, the good news is my homeowner's insurance will cover the damage inside. So, however much that's gonna be, because I can't really get a proper estimate until after the roof is done. So, because I don't want to throw good money after bad. So, but that's that. And then we have you guys ready for the crazy neighbor saga, continuation of, I gotta tell you, sometimes I sit up at night just thinking of evil things that, the guy deserves to have done to him. Or the latest one I came up with is I'm going to have somebody come up. I'm going to get a big white chalk stick. I'm going to have somebody lay down on the sidewalk in front of his business. I'm going to chalk them, like a chalk outline. And like they're holding a sign. And the sign's going to say, "I ate at Joe's." That's what I want to do. Can't do it, but it's fun to think about. Because this guy, he's such an ass. You'd think that if you were in prison, or not in prison, if you were sitting in a courtroom facing felony charges that would include up to 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine, you might be a little alarmed, right? You might not feel at all, at least a little bit sleepy, right? We show up on August 1st. I show up at the court with my neighbors to give them support. This guy shows up in the pink collared, short sleeve, button-up shirt that he's been wearing for 3 days. Baggy, khaki pants. Beat up combat boots. And over all this, he puts a spiffy black suit coat. Silk purse, sow's ear, and he was talking so loud when he got into the waiting area. It was like he had to be the center of attention. And so he was talking to this one person. He's like, I don't even know why I'm here, and I have no idea. This person said I damaged your car, but it's maybe $1,600 was damaged. I don't know why I'm here. And the prosecuting attorney was in there laughing with me too. And well, first of all, he did not meet with the prosecuting attorney. He met with the person who was in charge of the public defenders. He would represent you if you didn't have your lawyer with you, because this was the arraignment. Okay. So yeah, Joe Schmo tries to be the life of the party. But so he's telling all these people this, and he purposefully comes and sits in a chair right in front of me. And he knows I can't stand his guts. So I reach into my purse, take out this little pad of paper and pen I always have, and I'm just writing stuff. I mean, it's just squiggles, doodles, whatever, to make it look like I'm busy ignoring him. But then he's like, oh, wait a minute, are we supposed to have our phones in court? And in this courtroom, you can't. So I'm like, nope, they've all got to be gone back to the... So he walks back out to his truck, and all these people, I said, okay, guys, listen. It wasn't, because he said, oh, I don't know when it happened. I said, okay, it was July 1st. It was not $1,600 worth of damage. It was $3,100 worth of damage, and he ran his lawnmower into the neighbor's car 6 times on purpose. And they're like, well, how do you know it was on purpose? I said, because every time he hit that car, he'd look at the camera and go, whoops. And yeah, so that's why he's here. That's why it's a felony. So when Joe came back in, they're like, they all got up and went elsewhere. And then he's looking around for somebody else to talk to. But we get in there, okay. He's sitting in one of the benches. And I look over, and he's got his head down to his chest, just like, oh. He's either, we all have an idea of what exactly he's doing that would keep him up for 3 nights straight and then crash hard. We all know. But yeah, he crashed hard. I know when I walked past him to use the bathroom, I about choked and almost had a PTSD attack, because he smelled exactly like an ex-boyfriend of mine who was on drugs after he'd been up for 3 days and smoking this stuff. It's hard to explain, but it was like, oh my God. So, anyways, last Tuesday was the pretrial conference where he does have his own attorney, so where his attorney and the prosecutor's attorney comes in and they discuss whether there's going to be a plea deal, whether there's, if they can come to any common ground. And my neighbor didn't know that she was entitled to sit in on that conference. As the victim, she is entitled to be a part of any conference or any meeting where he can be. She didn't know that. She was at the courthouse, but she didn't know that. And she went in the next day and told the prosecutor, hey, I was here, I just didn't know. Anyways, she found out that they're not willing to pay any more than $1,600 because that's all this car is worth. It's a 2003 Chevy Malibu. It works well. It has some cosmetic issues, more now because of what he did. Really nothing wrong with the engine. It has 180,000 miles on it. Okay, it's a 22-year-old car. I don't know what they did. They said they pulled a Kelley Blue Book. But I think what they did was they pulled a Kelley Blue Book with over 200,000 miles on it, really bad shape, blah, blah, blah. Well, when I put exactly the VIN number and, add the updates that they had in it, like the new tires and the new tires and the CD player and stuff like that, and the fact that the body was still pretty good, it came up to $2,700 to $3,800 private market, and you have to take the middle of that. So it came out to, like, if you took the middle of it, it'd be about $3,200. So he did damage that was within $100 of that. So what he's saying is, oh well, you're not going to get that you're not going to get the full amount. It's $1,600. That's all they're going to give you. And she's like, who is they? She says, oh well, we don't. This is the victim's advocate telling her this, which I think is ridiculous because they're supposed to be working for her. She's the victim. So she's like, well, do you have any extra money that you could put towards it? So first of all, no, I don't. But second of all, why am I being penalized? This guy damaged my car. Why do I have to put any money into it because he damaged it? And technically, if my car is only worth $1,600, but I have a damage estimate for $3,100, doesn't that mean that he totaled my car? And so after she brought that in, now she has to testify at the examination on Tuesday, where they go over all the evidence. So she's going to tell everything. And she's also told them she does not want them to settle. You know, he did it on purpose. It wasn't an accident. No. And so hopefully, you know, they'll try to get her to come down to that, and she'll go, well, maybe, her final thing is, I'll accept the $1,600 if you do not plea him down to a misdemeanor, if it's a felony, because still $1,600 is still a felony, anything over $1,000. So with that, he'll lose his liquor license, he'll lose all his guns. If he loses his liquor license, there's no way he can make it over there, none, except to, you know, do the illegal thing that we think he's already doing. But yeah, so that's where this goes. I know that this week, if they find that there is evidence for him to go to trial, which I do believe there is, I think it's 4 weeks. So it would be sometime at the end of September when there would be a trial. And if this does go to trial, he's going to be found guilty. The jurors just look at that and they'll see. His whole thing is, well, I told him to move. He was on my property. I told him to move. First of all, he wasn't on the property. He was on the easement, which belongs to the city. Yes, we have to maintain it, but it's not our property. If somebody needs to park there, anybody can park there. And second of all, even if he was parked there on the property, you don't have the right to damage somebody's car. You have the obligation to call the police, have the police tow it, or have the police ticket it. He didn't do it. So he forgets all that. But yeah, so that's where we are with that. Fun, right?
Indeed. Indeed.
Nice. Anyways. So Dawn, other than just barbecuing on Labor Day, not doing anything else?
No. I basically summed it up. Grilling and yard work. That's it.
I've been wanting some grilled hot dogs. I may go get some ballpark franks and grill up some weenies up on the deck. And if it's not too noisy, which I'm probably sure it's going to be, I think I might end up maybe watching a movie on the deck. There's a new Wolfman movie that came out that, I mean, looks kind of silly, but it'd be kind of fun to watch a horror movie like that out on the deck outside. But
So you hear a coyote.
well, we have coyote, we have bear. We do have bear. But I haven't seen them come into town, but Brad was on his way from Charlevoix to East Jordan, and that's like a 13-mile drive. And about halfway between, he had a black bear run in front of his car. So,
Oh, thanks.
yeah.
Just keep that up there.
Well, black bears are basically babies. You don't want to encounter one, but all you have to do is go, and they'll run. They'll run. Throw a candy bar, they'll chase a candy bar. So brown bears and grizzlies are mean. So
in other words, when heading up north, keep candy on hand.
Yeah, and keep it out of your car. Bring all food in the house with you.
Anything about the great outdoors?
With a list of assholes?
Yeah, sure. Let's get some candy bars. What could go wrong?
Let's get one of those guns with the lamp at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite part though was when they shot the bear's butt and the fur went poof. Bald head, bald butt.
Just on the other day, matter of fact.
Yeah. You know, I heard something cool about that John Candy did when something had shut down production for a little while. He actually had a cookout at his house a couple times for the cast and the crew at the house that he was renting in the area. Like, how cool is that? How neat, you know? So it sounds like he was a really cool guy.
Speaking of John Candy, you guys know about Spaceballs too, correct?
Yes.
And his son is going to basically either play his role or be the son of.
Correct.
And who is that going to be? I'm sorry, who?
John Candy son.
Oh, really? I didn't know. Does he look a lot like him? Close enough to be Barf?
I mean, it's makeup. I mean, come on. If it's the son,
Yeah.
Yeah. If he plays Barf's son, yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't hear if he was like reprising, not reprising, taking over the role, or as Dawn said, going to have like a separate role as like a son or whatnot. But
Yeah.
I didn't even know he had a son.
Yeah, I didn't either, but that's cool.
Yeah, I thought so. And cool that my God, I just drew a blank on his name.
Mel Brooks.
No.
Is Pullman going to be in it again? Oh, Rick Moranis.
That's it.
Yes, Rick Moranis, yeah.
Drew a blank.
Yeah. And
I don't know.
It's going to be Yoda. I love it.
I doubt it.
Yogurt again? Sorry, yogurt. Sorry.
He can't. I don't think he can endure that makeup again.
He said he was there, but I'm betting that it's probably going to be like more computer generated.
Or AI. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
like with the little stickers on the face, so he can actually talk and stuff like that, and like they did with Golem and stuff like that.
Basically, what I just said.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. But we are getting close to running out of time. Is there anything else anybody wanted to add?
I got a quick question, and it's once again in regards to John Candy. And Dawn, you'll know this answer because I can't think of it. Do you remember that movie with John Candy, and I think he was like a mama's boy, and you had a poster of it in the room?
Only the Lonely.
That it. I've been just racking my head about that freaking movie, and I could not remember it for the life of me.
And I wouldn't exactly say he was a mama's boy per se. He was more or less thrust into the role of he had to take care of her.
Oh yeah.
And basically, is like, what else was he supposed to do? He wasn't dating anybody, so.
Who played the mom in that?
Maureen O'Hara.
Okay.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
I could not remember that movie for the life of me.
And who was the girl in that?
Ali Sheedy.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
I knew you'd remember it.
What's her name? Is it Daphne Zuniga?
Uh-huh.
Is she reprising her role?
I could check really quick.
I thought I heard yes, but I'm not 100% on that.
Is Bill Pullman coming back as Lone Star?
I know Joan Rivers can't possibly reprise her role. Unless they do it.
Okay, Keke Palmer is going to be Destiny. Louis Pullman is going to be Starver, so Bill Pullman's son is going to be in it. Bill Pullman is Lone Star. Mel Brooks is Yogurt. Rick
And
Moranis.
the president.
Josh Gad is going to be in it.
As what?
It doesn't say. There's nothing, but Daphne Zuniga is coming back as Princess Vespa. Yep.
She didn't look Jewish.
Ooh, strange. She doesn't look Jewish. But yeah, there's only 7 people in it so far. But yeah, Josh Gad. It's usually when the character is going to be like a surprise, or they never put the name. So I'm wondering if he's going to be Barf. Barf's son.
Josh Gad?
Yeah, I'm wondering.
No.
No?
No. Josh Gad is not going to be Barf. For
Barf's
the last
son. No,
time.
Barf's son. Okay, but
Chris Candy is going to be Barf's, either Barf or Barf's son. Josh Gad will not be donning the tail.
yes. You're right. It says here. I'm just looking. Anyways, that's going to be cool, though. I can't wait to see it. Oh,
But
it looks like Josh Gad is going to also play another Mog, half man, half dog. And John Candy's daughter is supposed to be, Jennifer Candy is also supposed to be in it.
Okay, I know no one has the answer to this one, but I just got to say it. First of all, why do they have to have Josh Gad play a Mog? Another Mog, anyway.
Illegitimate son? I don't know. He is a dog after all.
He had a litter. But no, you're going to have to forgive me. Josh Gad's one of those actors that's like, he's a hit or miss for me. And I just don't see him really well in this role. In any role, to be honest.
I loved him in The Wedding Ringer. In The Wedding Ringer with Kevin Hart and Kaylee Cuoco, where he was marrying Kaylee. It's actually really good. He's marrying Kaylee Cuoco. He's always viewed himself as a loser, and here it is like a week before the wedding, and he's got no best man, no groomsmen, nothing. So he hires Kevin Hart, who has a business that basically will, if you rent his services, he'll be your best man. He'll make up a whole backstory. He'll make you look good, all this stuff. Well, he has to hire what's called the Golden Tuxedo, and basically it's like 7 groomsmen and the best man, and it's very, very funny. It really is. It's very funny. Plus, you get to see some pretty cool. There's a touch football game played. Joe Montana makes an appearance, and so does Too Tall Jones. It's actually pretty funny. So, if you just go to watch it for the Basset Hound itself, the Basset Hound scene itself makes it totally worth it, and that's all I'm going to say. Now you're curious. Now you're going to watch it.
No, I'm not. Like I said, Josh Gad is one of those actors that's hit or miss for me. I think I've only seen him in one thing that he's actually kind of good at, and the rest of it's like, okay, so he's Olaf the Snowman. Woo!
right.
Well,
I'm sure he's a lovely man.
Well, that's the oh, it's raining again. Yeah. I just heard a rush. I'm like, what the hell was that noise? And I looked outside, and there's a big torrential downpour right now. So, well, I think that's it. That's all the time we have. But come back in 2 weeks, and we're going to have another host. I think it's Deanne's turn next time. So.
So you better have your A game, lady.
So yeah, going forward, we're gonna have revolving hosts, and so I'll be mixing it up a little bit, and we're just gonna go from there. So we're going to let you guys go. I've been Stacey, and my co-host again is
Dawn
and Deanne.
Ian.
And until next time, guys, keep your rants in your pants.
That's all, folks.